Hi, everyone. I'm Angeline Hartman. On today's Inside Crime Missing segment, I'm going to talk to the father of two young missing girls from Pennsylvania. Hannah Lee was 7 years old, and her sister Sky was just 5 when they both disappeared on March 17th, 2020. John, I can't believe it's been 1 year, and I cannot imagine what's going through your mind at this point. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Uh, Trying to find the strength, Angeline, trying to find the strength wherever I can to hang in there. Um, I honestly can't believe it's been a year either. I did not expect it to go this long. I never even expected it to happen, let alone last, over the course of a year. So it's absolutely been the hardest year of my life.
Well, let's just start at the beginning. For people who don't know, Hannah was 7 when this happened, and Sky was 4, correct?
5. Yes, ma'am.
5, 7 and 5. Okay. And so you had, did you have custody at the time? What was the situation?
Yeah, so I was awarded custody of my kids, both of my daughters, on March 17th. Our court date, our final
March
custody
17th,
hearing,
2020.
yes, ma'am, March 17th, 2020. Our final custody hearing was scheduled for March 30th, 2020, but because of the pandemic, because of COVID, the court date was postponed indefinitely. So at that point, an emergency order was filed to have the immediate physical custody of my kids transferred over to myself from my ex-wife. Um, the day that the judge signed that order, the interim court order for the transfer of custody, is the day that my kids went missing um, on the same day. And so,
So that was March 17th. Okay,
yes,
so let's
ma'am.
back up a little bit. So before this, you guys had you and the girl's mother had
Hmm.
shared custody. Is that correct?
That's
Or they
correct.
were living with her.
They were living with her. We had joint legal custody, so the medical decisions, educational decisions, were supposed to be, um, joint decisions, right? We were supposed to be co-parenting. Unfortunately, their mother did not give the opportunity to co-parent all that often, even as we were going through the custody battle. It was a 3-year custody battle. Um,
And where she was living where at this time, and you were living where?
She was living in Hagerstown, Maryland, which is in Washington County, Maryland, the northwestern part of the state of Maryland. And then towards the end of the court case, she ended up relocating and moving to Waynesboro, Pennsylvania.
Hmm. And then, so what happened? You said it was 3 years. What was going on during that 3 years?
It took that 3 years. When it first started out, my ex-wife didn't even allow me visitation with my daughters. She wanted total control throughout the whole process. And I hired a lawyer and I fought. I fought tirelessly to get visitation, um, just established. And then once I was able to establish visitation, yeah, I started getting the opportunity to spend more and more time with both of my daughters. However, their mother still continued to break court orders. Frequently, she would give me one daughter, but not both of them. She wouldn't let me talk to them on the phone as it was court ordered. So I didn't really, it was still a struggle. It was a constant struggle, just to spend any time with either one of my daughters, whether it be over the phone or whether it be in person. Luckily, I was able to um, establish more visitation with both of my daughters, and throughout the course of the custody battle.
Okay, and then so March 2020 approaches, and the judge decides you're getting full custody. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it was based upon. So we had the state of Maryland had actually assigned a psychiatrist to oversee the custody evaluation. Um, my my children also had a best interest attorney in the case, so they had an advocate in the courtroom for them as well. And it was the recommendation of all the professionals that were involved in the case, that really the best place for my daughters were with me, under my care. And I guess at this point in time, I wasn't privy to all the information, but the lawyers and the judge were. And so when our court case got postponed indefinitely due to the pandemic, um, my lawyer had requested an immediate transfer of custody, and the judge signed that order on March 17th, which was the same day that my daughters went missing.
So at what point does it hit you that she is not coming back with the kids? I mean, was it very clear because you show up at the parking lot
Hmm.
at the police station,
Yes, ma'am.
then you go to her home. Does it look like she
Correct.
moved out? What tells you?
No, so I couldn't see, I couldn't see the inside of the apartment. So all I really had to go off of was her vehicle wasn't there in the parking lot. Um, and I had figured, because I never got a response back from my text messages, because I never got a phone call back through my voicemail, and then her not meeting at the police station, I started thinking something immediately, that, okay, she found out that I was awarded custody of my children, and she took off.
What do you want people to know about Hannah and Sky? Tell me a little bit about their personalities.
I would say that they're both outgoing in their own nature. Sky probably is more outgoing than Hannah, um, but they are just, they are the sweetest, most adorable, little girls that you're gonna meet, and they've got really good hearts. Um, I'm sorry. Um, I just, I want people to look at their pictures, search for them. They're all over the internet at this point after a year. I know all of my posts on social media that I make about my daughters, I make sure they're all public. So their names are out there, their pictures are out there. I think at this point, I just beg people to take a look at their pictures, remember what their faces look like, and just please be on the lookout.
Hang in there, John. It's You just never know when today is going to be the day, you know? You got to think that today is going to be the day.
I think that every day, Angeline, and that's what gives me hope to make it through the day and on to the next one. Is, you know what? Maybe today is going to be the day that I get that phone call that they found my daughters.
Lashada Lee is charged with obstruction of child custody. At first, investigators thought she might be in the Washington, D.C. area, but after a year, no one knows. Everyone, please share this video and help us spread the word. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Inside Crime. Thanks, everyone.